Hello everyone. So today's video is going to be a little different than something that I normally put on my channel, but it's something that I wanted to do because there was not a lot of information out when I got my cosmetic surgery done. So I just wanted to share my story with you all, and if anyone's interested in advice, then maybe this video will help you out. So as you can probably tell from the thumbnail, the plastic surgery that I got was breast implants. And I got mine done in 2012, so they're about 3 years old now. And I guess I'll just pretty much explain why I got them. When I was growing up, that was like the first thing that I wanted was breasts. Looking back on it, I'm glad that I didn't develop as fast as I wanted to, but it's still something that I wanted at the time. So when I was 13, we found 2 lumps in my breasts, one in the left and one in the right. And we went and talked to a doctor, and they did a biopsy on them, and they found out that they weren't cancerous. Even though some of my family members have had breast cancer, they found out that the lumps were not cancerous, but my mom decided to go ahead and have them taken out anyway, I guess just because she didn't want to risk it. So we had them taken out, and once they were taken out, we kind of discussed whether or not my breasts would grow regularly or not. And the doctor pretty much said that because of the scar tissue, there was a chance that they might not grow. So I just kind of took that with a grain of salt and was just like, whatever, just, you know, hope for the best later on. So at the time I was a 32 double A, which is very small. If you have not been in that size, it's not somewhere you want to be, because it's kind of like having, you know, orangutan titties. It's just not very flattering. It can be on some people, but on me, it just was not flattering to me. I tried not to let it bother me though, because I always had a nice backside, so I kind of just tried to ignore the whole flat-chested part. But it's really frustrating when you're growing up and everyone around you has breasts and you have not even put a dent in growing anything at all. So it was really frustrating. But anyway, I kind of waited it out, and because pretty much people told me that once I had a baby, my breasts would probably grow, because, you know, your breasts have to get bigger because the milk comes in and they just kind of swell up. So anyway, before I actually had a baby, I started working at Hooters when I was 18, and I worked around, obviously, everybody there had big boobs except for me. I still got hired because of my looks, but I didn't necessarily have the chest area, like the signature body part that Hooters represents. But I didn't really let it bother me, but I did learn a lot about, you know, getting the surgery and, you know, what type of different ways that they, you know, insert them into your breasts, and should I get it under the muscle or over the muscle or what. So pretty much I learned that at the time I wanted to get them done underneath the breast, but then I decided no, you know, because that's too much scarring on my breast anyway. I have a scar from my 2 other lumps, one on each breast, and then I would have those 2. So I was just like, no, that's too much. I also learned about it going through the belly button, which I thought was kind of weird, but some people said the scar is really small and it heals up. I don't know. But that kind of scared me. Anyway, that's Dominic. Anyway, I decided to wait and put off the surgery because I just was not ready. I hadn't done enough research yet. So I didn't do anything just yet when I was working at Hooters. And not everyone at Hooters has fake boobs. I'm pretty sure you guys know this, but some people really do think that everybody at Hooters has fake boobs, or big boobs for that matter. I worked there for 2 years with no boobs at all. Matter of fact, hold on, I worked there longer than 2 years, because I went back to work for Hooters when I was, what, 23? I still had no boobs. Anyway, so I learned a lot while I was working there. I also learned that if you work at Hooters, you do get a discount, so that's pretty cool. My discount was like $400. It's like a 10% discount. So I ended up having my first son Deshaun in 2009, and yes, my breasts did grow like everyone said because the milk came in, but believe it or not, I couldn't even breastfeed because we just could not we couldn't get my son to latch on correctly. So of course, what happened? The milk ends up drying up, and then so did my boobs. They shriveled right back up. Even though they grew, they only probably went to like a full A cup, which isn't even that much, but I would have been fine with that, honestly, if they would have stuck around, but they bounced on me. So there I was again, stuck with no boobs, stuck with a flat chest. And you know, it wouldn't have been so bad if I was able to find some bras that fit me correctly without making it look like I was like as flat chested as I was, or with some support, because normally, I'm not even gonna lie, a lot of the bras that I found for like my size were like training bras. Come on now, I couldn't be like 18 wearing a training bra. That's embarrassing as hell. So the one bra that I did have that fit, I wore the hell out of that bra, because in a tight shirt it made, you know, me look like I had a little something. But like if I wore a t-shirt or something, the t-shirt would be falling into the bra. Like it would look like this. Like this. Can y'all see that? Like that. Like, it's out of focus, but like that. It would look like this. Like, no, that's not okay. So, yeah, I eventually just got fed up. And then when I started working back at Hooters, obviously it kind of put the idea back in my head to get the surgery. And I don't think there was too many people there with fake breasts. Everyone had real breasts, and there was no one there with like huge breasts either. Until one girl started working there and we became pretty cool. We were talking about it and whatnot. And she was telling me about her surgery. Her breasts were like the perfect size, because she actually came from like the same size that I was. And she wore a D cup, I believe. And believe me, like a D cup is really not that big. I wear a 32D or a 34C, and it's just not as big as some people think it is. But she was telling me about her surgery, and she got hers through the armpit. And what they do is like they cut like in the crease of your armpit. That way the scarring isn't as obvious. And then they put, I guess, I don't know, they find some way to put the implant down in there and then into the cavity. But that's the way that I decided to get mine done, because like I said, I already had the 2 scars on each of my breasts. And with me, the creases in my armpits are a little bit more prominent, so I knew the scarring wasn't going to be that bad. So that's how I got mine done, and I got it done underneath the muscle. That way it looks a little bit more natural. And I also got, I believe I got 350 cc's, which seemed a little bit bigger before, but once I got them, it was like the perfect size for my body shape. So when I first got them done, it felt like a ton of bricks was on my chest. I could not breathe. I could not move. I couldn't lift my arms anywhere past here. It was terrible. Like, I was in such terrible pain for the first 2 weeks. And I actually could not believe that the pain lasted that long, because I thought it was going to be, you know, a shorter recovery time. But then when I thought about it, a lot of the girls that had their incisions underneath the breast, they had quick recovery times. But girls who get it done through the armpit, just not as simple. So I stayed in bed for a week, and then I went back to bartending the next week, even though I really like could not function. I had to have somebody do all the work for me. I just couldn't do it. I was in so much pain. I had no appetite. I was like in so much pain. It was ridiculous. And if you happen to have the surgery, or you have just recently had it and you're in recovery right now, what I did, I know it sounds like kind of cheesy, but I watched the Hooters bikini pageant like on repeat for like the whole week I was out, because I just kept telling myself, okay, this is what you're gonna look like in a couple months. You're gonna look great. It's gonna be all worth it. And really it was. So this is what they look like 3 years later. And I'm just gonna show you like the top, because this is where I feel like this is the best part about having a breast augmentation, is the fact that you always have like this arch here. I will tell you straight up though, it doesn't really look like this in real life. I feel like in cameras and in pictures, like the shadows are always captured really well. So you can see like a shadow here, not really so much here, but I think that's the way the light is hitting. But I feel like that's, yeah, the best part about having breast implants. Now when you push them up, you can see like they look like really circular, and that's because, I mean, obviously it's an implant. That's what shape the implant is. Especially coming from somebody, you know, having absolutely nothing, being completely flat, to having a little bit of something. I never wanted like huge boobs like that are popping like up to my chin. I never wanted that. I just wanted a little something so I could feel a little bit more comfortable when I'm going shopping or just whatever. not, you know, I was getting the smallest sizes in clothes, like in shirts, so that my breasts were not looking crazy or looking too flat. And still, like, I would have dresses and like they would, you know how you have those like tube dresses with the cupped, what is it called? I don't know much about it. The couplets. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I would have those and like it would just be so much space in between my breast and the shirt. Like, it was just embarrassing. So I would say if you're looking to get the surgery, definitely make sure that you're doing it for you and for absolutely no one else. Because if they're not happy with you now, they're not going to be happy with you later. And if they only want you because you have big titties, then that doesn't really say much about them. You need to get rid of their ass. I would also say that you need to do plenty of research before you go through with the surgery, because this is a decision that you have to upkeep with for the rest of your life. It's not just you get them done once and then that's it. No, you have to get them done, I think, every 5 to 10 years. So you want to make sure that you're up for that commitment and that you're still going to be into this type of idea when you're, you know, 30 and 40 and 50 and 60 years old, because it's really a lifetime commitment. I would also say that if you would like to get breast implants because you're not happy with yourself, I'm going to tell you right now, that's not going to make you happy after you have the implants. You have to be happy with yourself first. You have to love yourself first. Now with me, of course I wanted bigger breasts, but I mainly wanted them because my breasts never even grew after I got those lumps taken out. So it was kind of like I never even had a chance to experience it. It would be different, I guess, if my opinion would be different on it, I guess, if my breasts maybe had grown a little bit, or just I wouldn't have had that surgery to begin with. But because that happened, I wanted to be able to experience what having breasts is like. I like breasts. I think they look nice, and I think they look nice in shirts and things like that. So I wanted to get a pair of my own. Now, I can tell you this straight up, like, it didn't make me feel any more confident after I got the breast implants. I still felt just as sexy, maybe a little bit sexier, but I still felt just as good about myself as I did before. My main point is that I got them because it's frustrating to buy clothes and your breasts don't fit into them, or, you know, you can't go bra shopping because you can't find the right size for you. I could never find a 32 AA, and even when I did, it wasn't the right type of bra. It didn't fit. It was just terrible. I think I wore one bra for like, I probably only had a total of 4 bras throughout a period of like 12 years, because I just never even, I never grew out of it. They never really wore out. I don't know. It was pretty frustrating, but do it for yourself. If you feel like you need to get this to make yourself look a certain way, you don't. There's tons of exercises as well you can do to lift your breasts. You can do like makeup applications to make your breasts look a little bit more shapely. But don't get it if you're not up for the commitment, and don't get it if you want to feel better about yourself. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it informational. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. Or if you have something or like a more personal question that you want to ask me, you can always email me. My email is in the description box. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.